Hey guys, welcome to Aussie Wristwatch. I'm Jess, and today I am going to talk a little bit about a watch that isn't personally in my collection, it's in my wife's collection. But before we do that, quick wrist check, because I know you guys love that. Okay, Rolex Submariner date. If you haven't seen it already, there's a video talking about how I actually won this watch. Still can't believe it. Still in love with it. It's brilliant. But today we're going to talk about the Jaeger-LeCoultre, or the JLC Reverso Tribute with a small seconds. My wife got this watch. She bought it for herself. For her birthday. Now I should say it's for a significant birthday that actually hasn't happened yet. And the reason she has it is because she went in to buy it after she'd sort of seen it 6 months prior. And they told her that there was like a 12-month waiting list. And the price has been going up every 6 months. It's ridiculous. It's currently at 17,000 Australian dollars, which is not what she paid for it. So she went into the store because she's like, okay, I'm going to press the trigger here. I'm going to go in and order it. And by the time it's ready, it'll be my birthday. So we went in and they're like, actually, you can have it today, which kind of threw a spanner in the works, right? Because she didn't want to part with that much money. We ummed and ahed and then eventually went, you know what, because there was a price rise coming, like I think in the next week. I think it was going to go up like another $1,500, and it already gone up like maybe 15 or 3,000 between when we'd seen it the first time. I think the first time we saw it was maybe around the $13,000 or $14,000 mark, and now it's, like I said, 17,000. So she's like, I'm just going to buy it. Then it was, I'm going to keep it in the box until my birthday next year. And then we both went, you know what? Have it for this birthday this year. You deserve it. It's no good to anyone sitting in a box for 12 months. You should wear it and enjoy it. And so she did. And I've spirited it away from her collection today just to talk about it. I actually love this watch. I'm sure most people out there are probably Reverso fans in some way, shape or form. Whether you'd own one or not is probably a different story, but I'm just talking about the overall aesthetic and beautiful nature of this watch. So this particular model is a tribute to the 1931 model, and a chap named, I'm gonna have to look this up because I've forgotten his name. It was like Cesar or something. It was Cesar Dutré. He designed this watch because he played polo, and I'm not talking about water polo. I'm talking about the one where the men or the women sit on a horse with a big long stick and race around a track, paddock, whatever you want to call it, hitting a ball. Love it. I mean, I don't play it, but I just think it's hilarious. And he didn't want to break the glass on his watch, so he came up with this idea. Instant protection. I mean, you could have just taken off the watch, I guess, but where's the fun in that, really, when you can come up with something ingenious like this? So, at about 8.5 millimeters thick, it's a small yet elegant and robust package. It's manual winding, so it's not actually on the right time presently because my wife takes it off and wears it kind of every second day or so. So she has to wind it before she puts it on, which is fine. I've got the Panerai that's a manual wind, which is I really enjoy, and I've got a Fears archival watch, which is a rectangle watch like this, which is also a manual wind, and I kind of like the ritual of doing that before you put it on to wear it. And the reason I got that watch is because I'm a fan of this watch and the whole Art Deco design of these watches and the rectangular shape, and I love Fears as a watch brand, and so I wanted to support them, and that's why I chose to get that watch, which means I've kind of mini scratched this itch. Because really, I'd probably, if I had to pick one JLC, I'm probably going JLC Ultra Thin Moon Phase, which is about 2 times the price of this, don't get me wrong, in a rose gold. But that's for another day. So this watch, it's a mono face, they call it, and as I've shown you, it's because there's only a watch or a clock, whatever you want to call it, on one side. You can get a duo face where there's 2 different watches within one, which is pretty spectacular. But I don't know, I kind of like the original purpose of this watch, that it's got the protective side to it. So if I was to get one of these, never say never, obviously, but I'd probably get a monoface, which you can incidentally, you can put a design on the back. So you can engrave it. You can do as little, like you could do your initials, for example, or you could send it to Switzerland and they can do a whole artwork on the back of it. Some of the designs I've seen for these watches are absolutely phenomenal. I don't know what my wife's thinking there, but you know, maybe she'll come up with something. 42 hours power reserve, so it's not a huge amount, but it's decent. And it's how do I tell you how big it is? I'm gonna have to look it up. I've totally forgotten. Yep, I got my cheat sheets here. So 45.6 millimeters long, and it's 27.4 millimeters wide. And as I said, I think I said it's 8.5 millimeter thickness. So it's a very tight little package. Comes in green, it comes in maroon or burgundy, I guess you'd call it. It's a pretty bold red, dark red, or it comes in the navy. It also comes with a calfskin leather strap, which this does not have on at the moment. I bought this for my wife as a gift. It's the canvas and leather alternative. It's a slightly more casual look and feel. It's also very, very elegant and very nice. My wife comments on how comfortable this watch is to wear. Not only just from a size perspective, because she has a smaller wrist, and she also has one of those wrists where the bone here kind of sits up a bit. So she has a lot of trouble, for example, with watches like this that are too big and too heavy. Her Yachtmaster is kind of perfect for her. It's smaller and lighter. But the Seamaster she has is too heavy. It's a Sedna Gold, so it's weighted down. She loves that watch, but finds it sometimes a bit difficult to wear. Whereas this is kind of perfect. And she also comments on how comfortable and soft, in particular, the calfskin strap is for this watch. It's a very cool watch. It's smaller in size, so if you're into a bigger watch, there are other Reversos out there that are bigger. There's also Watches and Wonders this year released the Duoface, which also had a chronograph in it, which is pretty funky. I kind of loved that watch, but again, would I get that, or you know, would I get like just the monoface? I'd probably get the monoface. But yeah, I don't know also why Jaeger-LeCoultre don't, I mean, I'm not saying they don't get props for how good they are, they do, but I feel like they're still not, they're not as, why are they not as popular as like a Patek or something like that, given like they seem to be the Mac Daddy of movements for a lot of watch companies. And they're beautiful and elegant and so well put together, that they get kudos for that, but I feel like not as much as some of the other brands. I would love other people's input into that, because I love them. And I've only just kind of discovered them in the last 12 months. So yeah, that's my thought on that. So we'll see what you guys have to say. There'll be brighter minds out there with a view on that. But in terms of the movement for this, I don't know. Just like, it's a caliber 822. You know me and movements. They're not my forte. But it's an in-house movement. It's, you know, it's made by a brand that are known for making exceptionally good in-house movements that are used in other watches and other brands. So, you know, it's a solid watch. It's a watch that anyone would probably be happy to have in their collection. Again, at $17,000, I think it's too expensive. Take that with what you will. I mean, I think there's a whole video that can be done on the price of luxury watches and the increases that we've seen, in particular in the last 12 months. I think they far outstrip inflation in terms of, you know, I get fuel, I get energy, although don't get me started about energy in this country, given we have an abundance of it, but it still costs us a fortune. Groceries, all those things, you know, I kind of get the inflationary drivers for that. I don't get the inflationary drivers for something like this. I should have done more research. I've read so many articles and I've got a bit of a cold, so I've got brain fog. But Like JLC have had increases on some of their watches of like 44%. That is far outstripping inflation. Even if you take inflation at, I don't know, 8 or 9%, it doesn't really explain the increases that we've seen in the watch market of late, which is a little disappointing. The other cool function with this watch, and it's cool, but it's also annoying. So it's got quick release straps. What it doesn't have is a quick release buckle. So whilst you can get the straps off really easily and put them on really easily, the buckle is a pain in the ass. So that's my feedback to JLC. If you could just work out the buckle and how that could be a little bit easier to get on and off, that would be fantastic, because that was really difficult to do the other day and drove me bonkers. It's also the reason I don't have it on the original strap for you, because I don't have the patience to be fiddling around with that today, to be perfectly frank. But, you know, I get the intent that, you know, they meant well. They just didn't fully execute it to perfection. Until next time, guys, that is the JLC Reverso Monoface Tribute in blue or navy, whatever you want to call it. Love it. It's beautiful. It's elegant. It's expensive, but it's a great watch. Until next time, have a good one.